Thank you. How's it going, Ian?
I'm good yourself.
Good, yeah. Uh, Enjoying the little bit of time at home before we head back over. So yeah, just
Yeah,
been
well, you've been touring Europe, haven't you?
yeah, yep. We did Europe like all the June summer festivals, a big run of those, some side shows. Then we came home for a couple weeks and we did a full US run. We got home from that at the end of August. So yeah.
So, relaxing at home for you, because I did check up on some stuff. Would that mean watching the Tigers coast to the Central Division title? Is that what that involves every day?
And more so football for me, gridiron football. And it's the Detroit Lions. I do, I'm obviously a Tigers fan as well, but I haven't been watching as much baseball as I have been watching football lately. But the season just started for NFL, so pretty exciting, and all the fantasy leagues and all that shenanigans that come along with it. It's been really fun. Uh, yeah, so a lot. It's half of my time is doing that. The weekends are spent watching football, and all the other time is spent pretty much writing in the studio and getting ready for the next one. So
To be fair, that sounds like a great life. Like
yeah, I can't
sport and
complain.
music.
Yeah, I can't complain.
Brilliant, brilliant work. All right. Well, let's actually talk about you're coming over to Australia in literally a month's time. Your first show is the 19th of October at Frio. You guys were here last year as well, though, with Parkway Drive,
Yeah,
or a little bit the
yeah.
year
So
before. Yeah,
it was last year around this time. Yeah,
yeah. So, I
yeah.
mean,
So
obviously that was a support tour. This is a headline tour. You also, when you did your second comeback show, back in 2020, did Unify over in Victoria. What is it about Australia that keeps bringing you guys back here to perform?
for whatever reason, Australia has kind of, and I think the rest of the guys would agree with me that Australia has kind of always felt like our second home. Uh, the band's been coming there since before I was even in the band, since 2008, and for whatever reason, there's some very deep connection with your country, and receiving the Ghost and Size music so well, and it's so beloved there, and it's noticeable, and we as well as love, like we love playing for the Australian people, but we also just love to be there, and we're always crossing our fingers for some days off while we're in Australia, because it's one of our collective favorite spots to uh go on tour, simply because it's beautiful. I feel like everyone there is super nice. And not, I mean, obviously there's a couple bad apples everywhere, but overwhelmingly positive, nice, happy people, and beautiful country. It's one of our favorites.
So you mentioned there that you're always hoping to get days off. I mean, do you on your days off, are you the sort of guys who go out and explore the area or is it like some guys will come over and they're like, hey, look, we want to go surfing in these spots. Other guys will go, we want to go to wineries. I mean, is there anything that you guys look to do? Or you specifically that isn't NFL related?
Well, if there's a game on and I'm in Australia, I'm probably watching a game at like 3:20 in the morning or something crazy, so I can catch it because of the time difference. But we usually, when we have the time, and I think I could totally credit our guitar tech Nick with this, and our lighting tech Hayden. With we like to, on an off day, wake up, have breakfast, and then we search out beer gardens or any sort of pub or brewery, and we like to go eat really good food, have a couple of beers, and just goof around. I think that's probably my personal favorite thing to do with the guys on off days, is find those spots, and then usually we end up finding some other thing that we can do. And if not, we're completely content with just sitting around having a laugh, a couple beers and some good food. It's really pretty simple. Uh, doesn't take a lot to please us. So that's our favorite thing. There's plenty of spots. For example, Felons in Brisbane is like We on that Parkway tour, we spent several days, and we just all looked forward to going there every day, right by the water. And just it's those kind of places that are highlights for us. So I'd say that's probably the big one right there.
Nice. So, I mean, this time's obviously a headline show compared to last year. What? So it's going to be a longer set, I'm guessing as well. But what can Australian fans expect from, well, yourself and a Ghost Inside?
Well, you're gonna get. We actually just kind of put together, and by we I mean Jim usually is kind of the curator of our set lists, and he always does such a good job with that. And he just sent us a proposed set list for this run coming up, and it is like us overwhelmingly just banger after banger after banger after banger. There's like no lull in the set. It's gonna be an absolute classic Ghost Inside headline set. I forget how long exactly, but it's definitely over an hour. It might be well over an hour. I can't remember exactly how long, but yeah, it's gonna be a good one. Yeah, we it's gonna be a mixed bag of the discography like it always is, but we promise everyone's gonna love it. Yeah.
Interesting you mentioned that about it being over an hour, because obviously there'll be physical exertions that will come from that. And I'm not going to dwell on what happened 10 years ago. What I would like to know is how do you manage and prepare yourself, you personally, with what happened 10 years ago? How do you prepare yourself each show to be able to do what you've got to do on the drum kit?
I think the biggest thing is kind of like when you're working out, you're doing reps. It's repetitions. You're doing it over and over. I think the more you're out there playing shows, the more just naturally it comes. And I don't really find myself having to do a whole lot of preparation. I usually change into my stage clothes, a half hour before we go on. I like to go up behind the stage, put my ears in, do some stretches. It's really that's about it. I'm more of getting in a mental headspace to do it, and I just try to get myself there, pumped up mentally. The rest just kind of works itself out for me, and I think it's probably similar for the rest of the guys. They like to go warm up with guitar. Vigil likes to warm up, singing, screaming. I just kind of mentally got to get out there, and the physical side just happens. I don't really do too much in that regard. But yeah.
Sure. The I mean, you're in a my understanding is you're in a unique group of who of you and Rick Allen of drummers who are missing a limb basically. I mean, what sort of challenges have did you find doing that? And did I mean I don't even know. I mean, I mean Rick Allen created his own drum kit.
Yeah.
I mean, what did you do to minimize the impact or maximize what you had left?
Yeah, I tried at first because I'm above knee on the right leg, amputee, and at first I tried to play with my prosthesis on, with that attached. I found that you had to keep the prosthetic foot bound to the pedal because otherwise you have no ankle dexterity to it would drift off. And it just wasn't working. It wasn't feeling right. The leg's heavy. My dad actually is the one who thought I need a device that I can play without that on, with what residual limb I have left. And he designed something for me that worked really well. And it's a device that essentially there's a pad that I hit with my limb that is connected with a bar to the actual kick drum pedal. So that pedal is kind of up. Here's my snare drum. It's kind of right by my snare drum, and it sort of acts as an extra extension to my existing pedal to play without the prosthesis, and that completely changed the game for me. And with a lot of practice, and we're always tweaking it. It's gotten me back to playing at the level we're playing at confidently. So it's just with some ingenuity from my father and myself, and a lot of trial and error, and we figured it out.
So it's not an electric. It's still a standard drum kit essentially that you're still using.
Yep, yep. So the kick drum is still there. It's more so the acoustic kick drum is there. for the feeling of the drum hitting the head for me. That's just like something my muscle memory needs and wants to feel is the beater digging into the head. But the sound is actually coming from a drum trigger that is connected to the pedals so that you get like an equal velocity at front of house when you're listening and watching the band live. If it was just a mic'd kit, the right side would be significantly quieter than the left because of the power that I can't get. So the trigger just helps amplify that sound to make it equal. So, I mean, a lot of death metal drummers use triggers, and I mean, to be honest, they sound freaking awesome. They just sound massive in your face, and they slam super hard. So I'm all for it anyway.
Nice. Thank you for that. So this is the sixth album of the band. It's 21 years technically since the band started. I don't know why I looked at my calendar to see what year it was. It's 21 years.
Sometimes you have to.
21,
I get it.
yeah, 21 years, 4 months, and 13 minutes. Now,
Right, right, right.
um, obviously you've been doing these really extensive tours, Bleed From Within as well, who I'm a big fan of. Um, is Fans will want to know how you guys already starting work on album number 7.
They want to know if we are. Is that what you asked? Sorry, I cut out a little bit. Oh yeah, we haven't. We don't stop. We we honestly started writing for the next album last summer officially. I mean, that was like a couple months after Searching for Solace had come out. If there's time off, I'm in my home studio right now. I'm in here every day, trying to get demos done and ideas out, and we have a huge pile already. The goal is that we want to have too much to pick from. That's a good problem to have. So we have we have been working for a while on the next record, and we're pretty deep in it, and we are not stopping until we have a perfect next record. So it's on its way.
Very nice.
Oh
You
yeah.
guys have told me, they told me Bleed From Within previously. They're a Scottish band. I'm Scottish as well, so I've got a lot of time for them. Um, what is it about them that you think is a really great mix for a Ghost Inside show? I have to put you on the spot, man.
Oh man, they we have a lot of fun with those guys. I mean, we took them on our US headliner last spring of 2024, and man, they're just the exact same type of personalities as we are. Their sense of humor, it's just like it's nonstop, just absolute ridiculousness when we're together. And I believe that a lot of people would call the Ghost Inside a hardcore band. I personally have always thought, even before I was in the band, that it was a metalcore band. Either way, it's this metal hardcore adjacent thing. They have that too as well. They have a lot more traditional, Swedish metal influence, but they also have like big breakdowns and stuff, and they have big catchy choruses as well. And they're just like they're just a perfect fit for us. And they also happen to be some of our best mates. So it just made sense. When we were talking to them before, we told them how much we love Australia, and they said we've never been, and we were like, "What? Like you guys have never been to Australia?" And then we were like, "Expect an offer within the next however many months." So, and we told them we were gonna bring them, and we are. So excited to see how they go over there. I know they're gonna crush it. They're an insanely good band and insanely good dudes. I'm very excited to see how they go there.
Thanks, for the whole tour. It's a momentous tour, gargantuan.
Oh yeah.
Well, I've had my 15 minutes, so I know you've got heaps more to do. So I'll send you back to Janine, and I'll see you I'll see you in a month's time. I'm in Adelaide, so I'll probably see you guys then.
Awesome. Sounds good. Thanks for having me on, Ian.
Thanks, Andrew. Take care. It's
Appreciate
Janine.
it.